So the idea came on I think it was April, Sunday morning, when I decided that I was just going to pop down to Lido and ask them if they would be interested in hosting a Halloween event. Fortunately, Chris, who is the marketing manager of the Lido, said he was very interested, and it all kind of went from there. A lot of people had stories to tell about their experiences of Mad Bess and who she was. I got in touch with the local history society and who told me about Mad Bess and the fact that she isn't actually a real person and it is a legend. So we wanted to create an almost caricature of her. As a group, we didn't really know what we had in mind in terms of the script and the plot. I knew I wanted there to be some character parts and some non-scripted parts, but as far as that went, we didn't really have anything in stone. I've always thought it's really important for a cast, when you're developing a devised piece of theatre, to have a role and an ownership over what they're doing. So I gave the cast almost a free run with the story, and through storytelling and through some scripted work, through some workshopping, we came up with some really good ideas and firm ideas and a structure to the performance. One of the rehearsals we concentrated on makeup, and that really helped the cast develop who they were, what they would look like. Makeup was incredibly expensive, but it gave the effect, and it is true that when someone is covered in blood, it's out of the norm, it's not expected, and people do find that really scary. And that's what we found when we were coming up to people on the train. People were covered in blood. It conjures up thoughts in people's mind. Where have these people been? What is the background to these characters? Once we got in place the character parts, everyone else then kind of formed their own part. They were given parts of a wolfman, or a crying child, or a surgeon, or a psychopath. These were characters that just lived in the wood, and it almost gave us a kind of free rein of what we could do. It allowed us to experiment, which I think is really important in the devising process of theatre. When you come up here and show us your character, I want you to actually scare people in the face. Okay, so you might be here, and then you might pick on someone and go, "Aah!" So you actually come into them. Okay? A lot of theatre is based on our ideas of expectation, what we expect. So if someone is looking at us, for instance one of the zombies, and they're just staring at us, we expect them to stay there. If we break that element of expectation and jump, they jump. So a lot of theatre, this kind of theatre, is based on expectation and what you expect. And when you experiment with that and you break from that, that then adds a new dimension to the theatre we're producing.
Ladies and shut up!
You can say that if people are talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, a cold-hearted welcome from all of us here. Tonight is the night you have been stupid enough to purchase a ticket on the Mad Bess Express.
Keith will then be presented on the other side of the track doing his speech. He will be radio mic'd. Because of the length of the train, there is no way that absolutely everyone is going to see him. But he'll be radio mic'd and he'll be walking up and down.
Welcome on board, everyone, to tonight's journey into Mad Bess Woods. On this, the scariest night of the year.
It's not that long, don't worry.
Oh. Oh.
The next train will be midnight.
There's a train! Come back! Why are you leaving me alone?
We wanted something that the audience can relate to. The Ramblers, they were in the same situation as the audience. They were coming to the wood on this night. They didn't know what to expect. So we set the script up for there to be an element of worry and surprise. What's going to happen?
Plenty of space on the train. train, isn't there? Can we have a taste of the train? Listen to me. We came here to look at badgers. It's the only time of night that you can see them. They go to bed at midnight. So we're going in the woods. We'll find the badgers. No, then we can go home. I am not going in the woods.
The feedback from the audience was that they felt like not much was happening on the way there, and there was a big build-up. It was very there was a big build-up of tension to what was actually going to happen. So on the way back, when all the zombies and freaks came out, there was a far bigger impact there, and the Ramblers' role helped to create that sense of suspense and tension.
Are you Mad Bess, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so can we run that, Carol? Can you go and hide in those trees or something?
What I've said is, as she starts doing her little rhyme, which is sort of the end of her, unless you've changed it, according to the script I've had.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
She starts doing her rhyme, she's going to be in the middle of the track, and that's just going to stay so we can get Loco past at that point.
Yeah.
So she's got all that time up until then before the comes half.
Yeah, cool.
What are you doing in my woods? Well, what are you doing here? Poaching, are you, eh? Is that what you are? Poachers? Get out of my woods. Go on, get out. I'll put a curse on you, I will. I've done it before, you know. My character, Mad Bess. You don't want to cross her because she is evil. She curses everybody that she comes across, especially those that come into her woods, because they are her woods, you know, and nobody should dare walk in them. But poor Bess, they came and they took away her home, and she poached. She scoured poachers and killed them. Oh, it was bloody. People running around screaming, "We're doomed! We're doomed!" You, sir, you're not going to come back with that smile on your face.
See, this isn't the citronella. What is that? This is paraffin. This is lantern paraffin.
Yeah, but is that what's meant to be in there? Well, we've either created a good effect, or we're going to get set fire to Haste Hill. Either way, we'll have a good show.
It's too late, my good friends. You've come into my woods on the most deadliest night of the year, and now it's your turn to meet the freaks of the woods. You're all cursed. You're all doomed.
We did have 2 incidents where an audience member grabbed a cast member's face, and we had a second one where an audience member actually latched onto someone's shoulders and started to drag them around the track. That is kind of the excitement of this kind of theatre. People aren't in their safety zone. You don't know how they're going to react. These people, they're faced with an unrealistic situation. They don't know what's going to come at them.
Blood! Blood! Blood!
My experience of Mad Bess, it was very scary. It was very dark out there, and so it was very scary for us. Overall, it was really fun and enjoyable for us to do as actors, and a bit of a challenge as well, because it's not something that we've done before, and to be able to do it obviously to a moving audience, which was something new, and with my very big dress, which was difficult to do, and it was interesting to be able to do all the scaring that I hadn't really learned how to do so much before.
It was an intense experience. At first you might think it's like a comedy thing, like just a goofy Halloween thing, but then it got into this really intense and dedicated performance as well. And the director brought out the best in us, and really makes you reach down and get something that you feel, oh, I'm not actually that scary, but then you do it and you put your heart into it, and it was an interesting experience. I've never done anything like that before, so it was pretty cool.
Just the entire experience was loads of fun. I mean, the workshops were really good because it helped you to get into character. Actually scaring people was great fun, because I just know that if I was in their situation I would have pooed my pants. And I got to make a few children cry, which was really enjoyable.
Someone else's. Oh, there. Oh, can you see? Oh, yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Your hacksaw.
Oh, Sam told me, who's that?
Oh, don't be stupid.
It's a bit bigger than the other one. Took the chain off it though.
I don't even know where it's gone now.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I've got one in.
Well, have you lost the contact?
Yeah. What do? Do I take both of them? The other one
No,
out?
just leave one in. That's so freaky.
There was one particular train ride which came along, and one group had their in the carriage. Two of them had their back to me, and two of them were looking at me. And they were teenagers, so they kind of were pretending to be really cool and were like, "Yeah, we're not that scared," and laughed a bit. And then the train carried on moving, and I scared some of the other carriages, and then got to basically swap sides of tracks, and then came back. And then by the time the train had stopped, I came back towards their carriage and crept up on them basically and scared the pants off of them. And they were just like, one of the girls just screamed her head off. Everything. It was really satisfying, because it was like, yeah, you thought you were really cool, but actually not so much. You're just as scared as everybody else.
The positive ones was the ones where they asked me to go away because they couldn't take it anymore, and that was due to the intensity or whatever. But there's a few cocky ones and a few people who try to react. They try to be a bit cocky, and then that makes you try even harder. And then when you pull it off and you scare them, it's a very satisfying experience.
It was extremely, not just frightening, but enjoyable. Don't really like things like that usually, but when everybody just suddenly appeared, it did make me feel very eerie. And also because we had the full moon out that night, it was the right atmosphere.
Like scary. Has it gone off? Yeah. Sam, are we doing scary or happy? Scary. Scary.
Mad Bess Express was a really exciting project for us. Something I also hope that we'll definitely do again next year. Its excitement really was shown in the local community by how many people booked and how many people wanted to see it, and then eventually how many people couldn't see it because it was so popular. How we scare people, there's no defined line. Most people, almost all people came off the train either saying that they were absolutely terrified or they really enjoyed it, and those were really the two outcomes that we were after.